I don't know where you think we're gonna go.
All right.
Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank
Morning.
you. Thank all the committee members for being present this morning. We'll call to order the Criminal Justice, Public Safety, and the Emergency Services Committee meeting for October 22nd. The first order of business is to approve the minutes of the prior committee meeting. Supervisor Strainer, second. Supervisor Gilligan. Any questions on those minutes? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Privilege of the floor. Any comments before we begin? Supervisors, members of the public? Seeing none, we'll start with the Office of Emergency Services. Our Director, Anne Marie, is with us. Anne Marie's got 4 items. They're all requests to transfer funds. So without objection, Anne Marie, if you want to just go through them all, I don't see any reason why we can't have one motion for all of them. So Anne Marie, just give us a brief summary.
All right, so the first one is to transfer. A request to transfer funds from the contingency account, other payments and contributions to transfer capital projects in the amount of $2,411.19. What that is for is it's to meet the match, part of the match for the hazard mitigation plan. This would be meeting the match from April through December of 2023. Just to close out the 2023 year for that. The second one is a request to transfer funds from the contingency account. Transfer capital projects in the amount of $1,253.53. This is used to cover the remaining balance with the consultant that was working on the project for us. We fell a little short in meeting that, and this is our costs for not meeting the match for that. The third one is a request to transfer from civil defense to capital projects in the amount of $2,228.71. This is to meet the match in 2024 for that particular grant, which is now closed out. And the last item we have is a resolution for transfer of funds from fire prevention and control salaries part-time to fire prevention control retirement in the amount of $850. This is to cover an anticipated deficit due to hiring of some staff that was mid-year.
Entertain a motion to move all 4. Supervisor Conover, second. Supervisor Mayday. Questions for Anne Marie on any of them? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you for being with us.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. The Public Defender's Office just has one item, so we have them go, please. It's a request to apply for a grant application and a grant agreement.
Morning, yes, this request is to ratify on a request to apply for a grant application for family court. So, fourth Family Defense Child Welfare Quality Improvement Caseload Reduction Grant. So this is the 4th one in this series. We have applied for the other ones and have yet to receive the funding, so we are hopeful.
Yeah. Hang on. Right. Not sure if that microphone's working.
Can you hear me now? Is that better?
It is, but just
Can you just talk louder?
speak up, yeah.
So it's to ratify a request to apply for a grant for family court. It's the 4th Family Defense Child Welfare Quality Improvement and Caseload Reduction Grant. We have applied for the other 3, have yet to receive the funding. So are hopeful this time around that we will have the opportunity.
Okay, thank you. Motion to move this request forward. Supervisor Strainer, second. Supervisor Mayday. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, carried. Thank you for being with us.
Thank
Last office today is the sheriff. Sheriff, I think we can combine the first 2. One is to submit for an application for a grant, and the other one is to increase the revenues for that grant. So want to give us a brief summary of 1 and 2 together?
Yes, this is an annual grant we receive from the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee. And we utilize it for increasing seatbelt usage and decreasing dangerous driving habits. So these two requests just allow us to receive the grant and amend the budget in the amount of $27,000,
you.
$27,900.
All right, motion move 1 and 2. Supervisor E2, second. Supervisor Strainer. Any questions for the sheriff on this? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Third item is the transfer funds within the 2024 sheriff's budget to address anticipated deficits in corrections, food, and law enforcement automotive supplies and repair codes. Sheriff?
This seems to be an annual trend. Our food and automotive repair prices increase significantly each year. We have still a little surplus left in salaries, so we're looking to move funds out of salaries into these two codes to stay in front of things and within our budget.
Motion move this forward. Supervisor Easton, second. Supervisor Gilligan. Questions, discussions?
How much are we moving?
How much are we moving?
Say here.
Yes,
See it. What?
110 total.
And
Other questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Fourth item is to create a new temporary provisional patrol sergeant position. Sheriff?
Yes, we had the luxury of getting an early announcement. We have a patrol lieutenant who's retiring early next year. And for us, that is a key command staff position that's going to be leaving us in and around March. What we would like to do to allow a little time to get a new person up to speed is to move a current sergeant into the office with this lieutenant starting January 1st, to allow him to shadow the lieutenant until retirement. But by moving this sergeant into that position, it would create a vacancy for the patrol sergeant's position. We're asking for a temporary patrol sergeant's position to backfill the road patrol and doing it within our budget. And with the understanding, if this lieutenant changed his mind in March and didn't retire, the position would be removed and the person who was provisionally or temporarily promoted would go back to being a road patrol officer.
Understood. Motion to move this request forward. Supervisor Mayday, second. Supervisor Driscoll. Any questions on this request?
yeah, what do we do pay wise? If the guy goes from sergeant to lieutenant, isn't that a higher pay grade?
We're not going to promote a lieutenant until the lieutenant's vacancy occurs, but we're going to take a sergeant who's going to sit literally at a desk with this lieutenant, still holding the rank of sergeant, but learning the day-to-day, going through within 3 months, the entire year of what this lieutenant's duties looks like. The position's key, and to lose it's tough.
No,
for
I
us.
have a problem
Yeah.
with just to pay, no, to stay the same where he gives you the sergeant.
Yes,
While he's
No,
shadowing, he's gonna get that same pay grade and not move up.
correct.
Okay.
Supervisor Driscoll?
I just want to commend you for, for that action. I know a lot of other departments across the county have done that successfully in the past, and it really helps out with the, I guess, the learning curve. You're getting a person who is kind of on the job training, I think, without adding to the budget. So
Thank you.
good work.
Thank you.
Other questions? Seeing none? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. 5 and 6, we can move together. The number 5 is the request to submit an application, and number 6 is to increase the revenues for that application. Chair?
Yes, this is our annual stop DWI budget. The sheriff's portion is 24,500. This allows us to receive that grant and to amend our budget to have access to those revenues.
Thank you. Motion by Supervisor Strainer, second Supervisor Mayday. Any questions, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Last request is to amend an agreement with the Lake George Park Commission to allow for the purchase and replacement of vessel fuel through the responsible preferred vendor and specifications of the Lake George Commission. Sure.
Probably going to talk a little bit in a circle with this one because it's a little complicated, but we entered into an agreement with the Lake George Park Commission early in the year to have them do repair work on our vessels and to allow us to purchase fuel at their cost. We've reached the end of the year. We're trying to make everything right with the Park Commission. When we went to pay the bills, we can't give them fuel back. I'm going to turn it over to you, Sheriff, to explain it because I still don't have the best handle on it.
earlier in the year, the park commission had said that they were going to institute a card system. That did not come to fruition for them. So we don't have a way to pay them for the fuel. So in order to reimburse them for the fuel, we would have to order that fuel. The contract as it currently sits does not allow us to do that. So we'd like to just amend the contract so we can order a tank full of fuel for the park commission to replace what we've used this year, about 3,100 gallons. So that's really no change. It's just we went back to the old system on how we have to reimburse the park commission.
Thank you. Motion to move this request, Supervisor Mayday, second Supervisor Driscoll. Any questions for the sheriff, under sheriff on this? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried? Sheriff, any other discussion items?
Not on the agenda, but I just wanted to share, we had our annual, this is our 4th annual trunk or treat right out in front this past weekend. And it really has become an amazing event for the county. We do it on our own each year, but I wanted to bring it up because I want all of you to be aware that other than taking a police car or one of our agency vehicles and driving it from the sheriff's office parking lot to the front parking lot, or for us using the power to have an inflatable, that event is of no cost to the county taxpayers. We solicit for donations. We receive tremendous support from the community. So that's something that we do free of charge. And if you haven't stopped by, we have plans to have a 5th annual next year. You should really come and check it out. It's a wonderful event. Off of that, just a little bit, that puts into perspective the quality of life that we all have here in Warren County and why so many people come to visit our wonderful home. And I just want to share, we're coming into our budget season, the close of our budget season. And I will say to you, and I say this with the utmost sincerity, that this is the best board that I have ever had the pleasure of working with right now, physically, this board makeup. And I just need to say that there are things, 2025 is going to be a significant year in future years for Warren County, for our sheriff's office, and for public safety. I've listened to some conversations before this meeting, and we are seeing some trends in public safety. And I've had some conversations with some of you that I will just say are troubling for me as your executive for the sheriff's office. And the only thing that I'm saying is now is not a time. We need your utmost support over these next few years. I've said before that our team does great work in insulating the public from some of the things that are in and around where we live, work, and recreate in Warren County. Insulation's getting a little bit thin. Our members are getting a little bit tired. If you listen to the scanner, the calls for service that are coming into communications are higher than ever. Our road patrol officers are going through some shifts. They're not even getting a meal break. They're going from call to call to call. And the things that we're seeing, they're not the common calls for service that we used to see 10 years ago. Normally, we would get through car show, we would get through Balloon Fest, and we could exhale a little bit. We're not exhaling right now. If anything, it seems to have picked up. So I'm not saying this to alarm any of you, and you do support us tremendously. I'm just letting you know, the undersheriff and I, our team, we're going to be here for you. If things are happening in your townships because things are shifting, please reach out to us. Let us know. Don't let them percolate. Let us get out in front of them before they become big issues. But please stand right behind us and push forward. That was it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Appreciate your comments and your service and all your personnel. Any thoughts? Comments, Supervisor Strainer?
I went by that trunk or treat and I'll tell you it was packed. And I think it's a great event. It gets people to see the officer, gets them to have a little more confidence and gets the kids maybe to get a better respect for the police officer. So I think that's a great event and I hope we can continue doing it.
Thank you.
Supervisor Driscoll.
And this past weekend, a number of the members of the Sheriff's Department participated in the Special Olympics, especially Friday night. Every Olympian that I saw was fisting an officer, whether it's Glens Falls Police or the Sheriff's Department or State Police who were there also. And yesterday, Sheriff and I had the opportunity to speak to some seniors about issues in our communities. And I think the importance of connecting to the public. community policing, I guess is the term. You know, you can be chasing the bad guys, but also you really need to be able to have relationships, build relationships with the good guys, I guess. And let them know that you're there, sometimes behind the scenes, but you've got their backs, and I appreciate that also. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any other discussion items? Pending items? No? Sheriff, Undersheriff, thank you for being with us. Privilege of the floor, any supervisor? Members of the public? Seeing none, entertain a motion to adjourn. Supervisor Conover, second Supervisor Mayday. Any questions on adjournment? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.